Well, we are started the engines and had a great time here at the Royal St. Lawrence Yacht Club in Dorval. And our next challenge is to have a bunch of patience in our pocket because we're going to go through the Beauharnais locks. Everybody that I've talked to said it's a nightmare. So we scheduled for an afternoon lockage. They've already updated it to the time. We have elected to go a little bit early and wait rather than waiting here and miss it. So we'll just see how that works out. So come along with us on the 260th time that we've moved the boat. We've been through 245 locks, and we'll go through 2 locks today, hopefully, and end up in Valleyfield, and looking forward to that. Weather looks good, a little overcast out there, so we're going to enjoy the ride.
Sam's working his way out of this slip at the Rev St. Lawrence Yacht Club. Wonderful restaurant up there. Had a really nice time. 3 nights here. We highly recommend this marina if you happen to be up this way, close to Montreal.
So navigation in this area, you really got to pay attention to the charts because Navionics will draw you some funky routes, and getting some local knowledge here, as well as another boat that had come from Valleyfield, and I said, hey, could you do me a favor and export your track for me? And they did. So I was able to put their track, which they got safely from Valleyfield, all the way over to St. Anne's. So imported all that into Aquamap, and I have a good global picture there as to how it looks. Then I did some auto routing and played around with it on Navionics. Once I was satisfied with that, stuck it into the Garmin chart plotter and went through there and did some tweaking on it. So I've got my primary guidance here, cross-checking it with Navionics, and then also looking at does it make sense in the big picture. So a lot of things going on there, but I kind of prefer to do it that way. We've got plenty of depth out here, but if you start going zigzagging around out here, you're going to get into areas that have some shallow depth, and it's rock. I reset my depth alarm here, sonar, for 5.5 feet as I was coming into there, and now that we're out of there, I'm going to set that to 10 feet to give me a little bit more warning if I do start to get into shallow water, because right now I'm showing 18 feet and I really should not see any less than about 12 feet out here, so that's another warning. I also have my AIS on, and what we are trying to do is time this to get to the lock early enough that we'll be ready if they start to go earlier. Once we get it established on route here, and I can safely tie it to the route without any other boats around here, I'm going to take a look at some other resources and like marine traffic, vessel finder, those types of apps that track commercial ships and boats with AIS on it, and see what the traffic is going into the lock. We're just going to try to get as much information as we can to make decisions on what speed to go, and so we'll be looking at that along the way, but I don't want to detract from looking at phones and all that kind of stuff. As to the primary is to make sure that we put the boat where the boat needs to be.
There's a lock. We don't know exactly where it is, can't see it yet, but I'm kind of nervous. Sam's not nervous at all, are you?
No, I'm not nervous. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Never say that.
So I see the lock wall. I see the lock wall, and we're looking for a dock to be able to tie up, which I don't see any boats out there.
I don't either.
Spyglass.
The thing is, they only speak French. and we don't speak French.
The thing is, I don't see anybody. There's no boats out there on that dock, so
Okay.
that is a good thing. I would say let's rig for a starboard tie.
Okay.
And I don't know what side we're going to go on as far as the lock, but I bet going up down we go on a starboard tie. So put stuff out there. And then the other thing is, who knows if they're going to raft anybody off of us. So get suitable fenders on one side and the rest on the other.
Gotcha.
See what we need to do. Yeah.
Okay.
They were starting to turn the line up.
Okay.
As soon as I got eyes on the dock there, we'll maneuver, and
Well, I
it's
see.
an L-shaped dock. We can either go in, make a turn to port, and tie on the starboard. That way we can kind of keep an eye on what's going on with the lock.
Well, I see a red light and the gate's closed, so
Yeah.
we'll have time to decide. All right, we got tied up in this area. Sam's going up to use a telephone up there to talk to the lock, but let me come down here to the cockpit. I loose tied us to this dock in 3 places, but it says that next pleasure craft lockage is at 1600. That's even, first we thought it was 1:30, and then Sam checked this morning, they moved it to 3:30, and now that we're here it says 4. So of course the instructions are in French as well as English. It tells you what to do whenever you get here. It also says if you're not here, you don't go through. So there's no, last minute rushing in through the lock and getting through. You have to first be here. They prefer you to be here an hour before it's time to lock through. I think it's around 2:30, so we are way early.
We are here at the pleasure craft dock, and had tied up, got in here, and another Carver, a 42 aft cabin came in, 1987 aft cabin. French-speaking couple who went to do the loop in a couple years, so we had a good time visiting. But the best thing is local knowledge. So one of the things that is a little frustrating is it says, there's a sign out there that says use the phone to come up and check in. You pick up the phone, nothing, there's no instructions. So I figured, well, it doesn't work. And then we had arranged for a afternoon lockage, which was, said it was 1 o'clock, but this morning it changed to 3:30, so it's now 2:45, and then the sign over here says the next lockage at 4 o'clock. So Michel on the boat over here, La Soprano, he says, don't believe that, don't believe anything. And so he gave me the real skinny. He says they'll tell us when they're ready, and he says because there's a ship coming down, downbound. In fact, I was on one of the Marine Traffic Vessel Finders Fund Ship website, I don't know, one of those that tracks the ships, and I saw that there was indeed a ship that was coming down. So that will come down, and then he said shortly after that we'll be able to go in. Our timing here was impeccable. We were able to get onto this dock, the other big boat on there, and we can already see lined up over here a couple of boats. They are rafting up and waiting. So we will tie to the port side when we go in. They will drop lines or cables to us. And then we expect probably some boats that might raft off of us. So we'll take our extra fenders and put them on the starboard side. So Rev's got a little bit of work to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit back and have a cool drink and just chill out here and hope that the rest of it goes a-okay.
Station qui demande une vérification radio, ici Québec Radio Cap-Côte-Est, c'est 5 sur 5.
Just in French. I asked Michel if they would broadcast in both French and English, and he said they would. So we will just sit here and be patient.
The size of this ship is just incredible, and as the front is here, let's turn around. And the back just now came out of the lock, so that's how big that ship is. Quite impressive. No wonder they have rules here. Got to get those big ships going. Okay. Alright, we're taking the port side. Alright, sounds good. Okay, we just came out of that lock that we waited an hour and a half to get in. But it's timed. I mean, that was planned. It's all well and good. And now, the other lock, right up here in front of us, we're going in there. The green light's on. The gate's open. And the same guys that worked that lock drive their truck over here and work this lock. So, we're in the lock. We're gonna go up. We're the first ones in, but there aren't any ropes hanging down. So I guess those guys are in the truck now, rushing to get down here, or not, so they can hand us a rope from up top. They want us on the starboard side. Sounded like they said the port side, so I think they go starboard side. Anyway, it was confusing, but we're doing okay all in all.
Well, we got through those two locks. So we're coming up on a bridge, and the first one is St. Louis Lip Bridge. I had heard horror stories about, oh, they don't talk to you, all this. I made one call. There's two fast boats one ahead of us. They can't get under it because it's 8 feet, and I think they're probably waiting up there too. So they're idling. I did call. They answered me back. And I said, I'm upbound looking for a lift, and I have another large craft behind me, that's Soprano, and they said, hey, no problem, we'll lift it as you approach. So, got that bridge, and then we have another bridge beyond that, and I'm hoping that one will go well as this one does. 13 miles to destination. Once we get into Valleyfield, we'll also be having two swing bridges that will put us into the canal area where the marina that's there also manages the space along the canal wall. So we're hoping that that will go smooth as well. Looks like we're going to be getting in, if everything goes right, probably about 7:30. So, kind of wish I had opted for the morning transit because this day is getting strung out a little bit longer than I wanted to. Anybody knows French, you probably know what he said, but I don't. I still got a red light on the bridge here. I've got a tally on the two boats in front of me. So I'm sure that the bridge master is timing this so that A, we'll get the boats through expeditiously. Boat behind me, I can tell from AIS, is about 0.4 miles behind me, and he's doing about the same speed. So I'm going to slow it down, kind of tighten up the rubber band here, and allow him to get in, and we'll get through the bridge. Weather looks like we're getting a little bit of clouds over in that area. I really haven't looked at it because been so much going on, but probably take a look at the weather here. It's still a little under 2 hours to go.
Okay, so that bridge was going to make us wait an hour and a half, but we have some weather coming in, and so this gentleman that we're wrapped it up with, he's a Commodore. It doesn't hurt that they are both French and was able to talk them into opening the bridge. So they were kind and gracious and gave us goodies, and now we're leaving in about 5 minutes.
Anyway, this is the day that just doesn't seem like it's going to end. It's 7:13 local time. We did not get a response on this bridge, and we were traveling another boat behind us that we got to meet waiting for the locks. That Soprano speaks French, so he contacted them, and they said the next bridge opening will be at 8 o'clock, and that was about a half hour ago. So the plan was we went over and they anchored, and then we rafted on them. They call it shouldering. So we shouldered on their port side, our starboard. And then I started to look at the radar and seeing the weather is starting to come. So I planned to try to call the bridge and see if there was a way that we could get some consideration because of incoming weather.
And how'd that work out for you?
That didn't work out because they didn't want to talk to somebody with English, so the people in the soprano, Michel and Odile, talked to them in French. And guess what? That was the magic words, and they said yes, they'll open it in 15 minutes for us. So we separated, and it looks like we should hopefully start to see movement on the bridge here soon. So we're maneuvered now to a position that when they open it, we can get through expeditiously, which was nice of them to do because we were securely anchored. They were securely anchored, and we were on them. We weren't moving a bit, but we started to get a storm. You know, things would not be good. At that point, if we would have had to wait, I was going to suggest that we break off from them and have our own anchor hold. But luckily, here we are. So I do hear a whistle of some kind, but I still see traffic moving on the bridge, and perhaps we will be able to pass through here soon.
You see that stadium right over there? They should flip the seats around to watch the show that we're getting ready to put on. Sam has to get us through that tiny little opening. They're coming to move the bridge over, and then he is going to sneak through there. We are 15-4, our beam. They said someone with a 17 beam had a little bit of trouble getting through there. But hey, we have high confidence, don't we, Sam?
Yeah, oh yeah.
In our abilities, and I'm glad Sam's driving. The light turned green, and the bridge wasn't swinging. Nice and slow. Do you want me to get outside?
Yeah, go out, go out.
Going down the canal. Look, a car on the canal. We didn't just have to go through one skinny bridge opening. Now we have to go through two. So, Sam, do you want me to go outside?
No, you're good.
Are you sure? Okay.
I think this is wider than the last one.
I do too, but still, you gotta stay on the line here.
That piece of cement sticking out over there.
Yeah.
Well, clear that.
Yeah.
This is a good 23 feet, probably 24.
I think you need to get over to the left a bit.
To the left?
Uh-huh. You're overcompensating, and
All right.
that post will slow you down too.
Okay. Onlookers here.
Okay. Yeah, straighten it up. Go over to the left a bit.
To the left of it?
Uh-huh. What's that?
Oh, that's the end of navigation.
Oh, okay. Well, good. So I'm ready to be there.
We made it to Valleyfield. 2 locks, 2 bridges, rafted off somebody during the I can't even talk right now. And then we claimed that they were going to wait till 8 o'clock. That was an hour and a half. We saw a storm coming, and we had our friends on the soprano call and say, hey, because of the weather, maybe we could get through. So we got through. But still, getting here right at dark through 2 skinny bridges. We are here, and we had planned 2 nights. Guess what? Since we've already eaten into 1 night, we opted for 3 more nights. I mean, not 3 more nights, but 3 nights total. We'll see you next time. We gotta go get some sleep.